My child, how long have you been running? How many sunsets have you watched fade behind you, believing that you've gone too far to return? You've wandered through valleys where no one called your name, walked roads where the dust clung to your feet and regret to your heart. You've searched for belonging in places that only left you emptier. But even as you ran, I never looked away. You thought I couldn't see you anymore. But every step you took, I counted. Every tear that fell in the dark, I gathered. Every breath you took in your loneliness, I heard. You were never lost to me. You were only lost to yourself. I remember the day you left, your eyes full of dreams, your hands reaching for what you thought would make you free. I didn't stop you, because love never forces, it waits. And I waited through every season, every silence, every mile. I watched the horizon each morning, hoping to see your silhouette return in the distance. I never built a wall between us, only an open door. A light kept burning on the porch of my heart. You thought I had closed it, but I never did. You looked for peace in noise, for joy in the fleeting, for meaning in what fades. And when it all broke apart, when the laughter turned to silence, when the promises around you turned to dust, you looked up, and for the first time in a long while, you remembered me. That memory, that small flicker of light, was never yours alone. It was my whisper inside you, calling you home. I saw you when you paused in the middle of the road, head lowered, hands shaking, wondering if you had the courage to turn around. You thought, what if he doesn't want me anymore? But I did. I always did. You see, love doesn't measure the distance. It only waits for the direction. And the moment you turned, before you even took your first step toward me, I was already running. I ran faster than the wind, faster than the shame that chased you, faster than the voices that told you you'd gone too far. Because I couldn't wait another moment. Because you are mine. When I reached you, you tried to speak, to explain, to apologize, to make sense of the years. But I didn't need your words. I needed only your presence. I wrapped my arms around you before you could finish a sentence. The dust on your robe didn't matter. The past didn't matter. Only this, that my child was home again. You expected judgment. I gave you joy. You expected distance. I gave you a feast. You expected silence. I sang over you. All the while you were gone, I never stopped preparing this moment. The ring was ready. The robe was waiting. The table was set. Not for the perfect version of you, but for the one who simply returned. I don't see your failures, my child. I see the courage it took to come back. I see the strength it took to say, I need you. And I call that bravery holy. You thought you were walking home, but really you were walking back into my heart, a place that never stopped beating for you. So rest now. Let the weight fall from your shoulders. You don't have to prove that you belong here. You always did. This is your home. This has always been your home. Welcome back, my beloved. The road behind you may be long, but grace is longer still, and tonight you are home. My child, I have been waiting for you, not with anger, not with disappointment, but with love that never moved an inch. I never stopped watching the road that led away from me, because I knew one day it would bring you back. Every sunrise, every nightfall, I looked toward the horizon and whispered your name into the wind. You thought I was silent, but I was speaking through everything around you, through the ache in your heart when the world felt empty, through the song of morning birds that still rose after your darkest nights, through the whisper that said, "There's more than this." That was me. I was never far. You imagined that my love had limits, that you could reach the edge of it and fall away. But my love has no edges. It has no borders, no doors locked from the inside. You wandered far, yes. But love is not measured in distance. It's measured in nearness. And I have always been near. You didn't need to earn your way home. You only needed to turn your face toward me. That was enough. That single moment, that breath of surrender, was the opening I had been waiting for. Do you know how long I've been longing for this moment? Longer than you've been gone, longer than time can count, before you left, before you fell, before you even spoke your first word. I had already decided to love you. Nothing you've done can undo that decision. You could spend 1,000 lives trying to break it, and it would still remain untouched, unshaken, eternal. Because I am not waiting to love you until you're whole. I love you while you're still healing. I don't wait for your perfection. I meet you in your pieces. You were afraid to see my face again. You thought I would turn away. But my child, I ran. I ran to you before you could even call my name. And when I held you, I didn't see your past. I saw my child coming home. Do you remember what it felt like? That warmth against your chest, that peace that felt too big to understand? That was me wrapping eternity around you. You whispered, "I'm sorry." But I whispered back, "You're safe." You said, "I don't deserve this." And I said, "You're mine." Because love isn't about deserving, it's about belonging. You belong to me, even when you doubted me, even when you forgot me, even when you tried to build a life without me. I never forgot your name. It was written on my heart the whole time. Do you see this robe I've placed on you? It's not just to cover your past. It's to remind you that you were never stripped of my love. Do you feel the ring on your hand? That's not decoration. It's covenant, a promise that what I've joined to myself, no distance can undo. And this feast, this celebration echoing in heaven tonight, is not for your perfection. It's for your return. Because heaven rejoices more for one soul that comes home than for 100 who never left. And tonight, heaven sings your name. I have been waiting for you, not to punish, but to heal, not to question, but to embrace, not to remind you of where you fell, but to show you where you'll rise. You are not the story of your failures. You are the story of grace that found you in them. My arms are not a place of shame. They are the beginning of your freedom. Here, nothing is wasted. Even the pain becomes a doorway to peace. So rest, my beloved. You don't need to fix what's already forgiven. You don't need to explain what love already understands. All I ask is that you stay, not out of guilt, but because you finally know this is home. When you wake tomorrow, don't look back at the miles you've traveled. Look forward to the grace that walks beside you now. You are safe here. You are wanted here. You are loved here, completely, endlessly, forever. I have been waiting for you, and now you are home. Father, I'm home. Even as I whisper those words, they feel too good to be true. I thought this road would end in shame, but it ends in your arms. And now that I'm here, I don't ever want to leave again. But I know myself, Lord. I know how easily I wander, how quickly my heart drifts back toward the noise, the distractions, the promises that fade. So tonight, I don't ask for another journey. I ask for something harder, to stay. Teach me how to stay. Teach me how to stay when my mind wants to run ahead. When the world calls me with its thousand voices, each one pretending to care, teach me to recognize the only voice that truly does, yours. When the noise grows loud again, remind me of this quiet. When I start chasing what glitters, remind me of what glows, your light, constant and kind. When I forget that I am loved, remind me of the road that brought me home. Remind me of your patience, your mercy that waited through every mile of my running. Father, I know how to run. I've done it well. But staying, that's a grace I need you to teach me. Show me that home is not a place I visit when I'm broken, but the place where I belong even when I'm whole. Show me that I don't need to earn this love every morning. It's already mine. Let me wake each day not with fear of losing you, but with peace in knowing you'll never leave. When I am tempted to prove my worth, quiet me with truth. When I am tempted to hide my weakness, remind me that you already see and you still call me yours. When I am tempted to run again, let your voice catch me before my feet do. Let your whisper be louder than my fear. You've already shown me how to return. Now, Father, show me how to remain. I don't need to be the child who leaves anymore. I want to be the one who stays, who learns the rhythm of your house, the peace that lingers in the air, the sound of grace that never stops moving. Teach me how to stay in the small moments too, in the ordinary mornings, in the quiet afternoons, in the soft spaces where life feels unremarkable. Help me find you there, because you are there. I used to think holiness was something far away, somewhere I had to climb to reach. But now I know holiness begins here, in the heart that finally stops running. Holiness is the stillness after the storm. Holiness is sitting with you at the table, letting the warmth of your love be enough. I don't want to chase miracles anymore. I just want to notice the miracle that I'm already home. So if my heart ever starts to wander again, bring me back quickly. Don't let pride take me far. Don't let fear build walls between us again. Let the memory of your embrace be stronger than the pull of the world. Let the echo of your welcome outlast every voice that tells me I don't belong. Father, thank you for waiting when you could have turned away, for loving when I gave you every reason not to, for running toward me when I was too tired to move. Now I ask only this. Teach me to rest where I am. Teach me to breathe without running. Teach me to stay, not because I'm afraid of leaving, but because I've finally found where I was always meant to be. Home. Let me live every day like this moment, my head against your shoulder, my heart quiet, my soul full. Let me remember that home is not about where I've been, but about who I'm with. I'm with you now, and that's all I need. Amen. The sun is setting now. The sky burns gold over the valley, and the sound of laughter begins to rise through the house. You're still sitting by the doorway, half believing, half afraid, watching the light dance across the walls. It doesn't feel real yet, that you're here, that you belong. And then you hear my voice again, soft, steady, familiar. Come, child, the table is ready. You stand slowly, your hands still trembling from everything they've held. You expect a seat in a corner, a quiet place away from the joy, but I take your hand and lead you to the center. Every candle glows with warmth. Every cup is full. The table stretches farther than your eyes can see, and every face you pass is smiling, not because of who you've been, but because you came home. You hesitate at the head of the table, looking down at your worn clothes, the dust still clinging to your feet. And I whisper, you don't need to be clean to come close. You are already mine. Before you can speak, I place a robe around your shoulders. It feels like sunlight made of fabric, soft, weightless, warm. It covers every scar without hiding a single story. Then I slip a ring onto your hand, the same hand that once reached for the world. Now it rests again in mine. This ring is not a symbol of your failure, but of my faithfulness. It means covenant. It means belonging. It means you will never be a visitor here again. You look down, and tears fall quietly onto the table, not of shame, but of relief. The kind that comes when you realize you are fully home, fully loved, fully seen. The music begins. Soft strings, a gentle rhythm that feels like your own heartbeat. Voices rise in joy, and for the first time, you allow yourself to smile. I look at you and say, this is what grace sounds like. You nod because you can feel it, not just in your ears, but in your bones. Grace doesn't whisper guilt. Grace sings restoration. It doesn't ask you to explain. It invites you to dance. Every part of heaven is rejoicing tonight. Not because I gained another servant, but because a child has come home, because love that was once lost is alive again. Do you hear the laughter echoing in the distance? It's not just yours, it's mine too, because my joy is not complete without you in it. At this table, no one keeps score. No one asks for proof. There is no seat too low, no past too dark, no story too far gone. Only this truth remains. You are welcome. You always were. You reach for the bread, and I break it with my hands, the same hands that lifted you from the dust, the same hands that carried your cross of shame. Now they offer you peace. You eat slowly, tasting the sweetness of forgiveness. It fills more than your hunger. It fills your heart. Every bite is a reminder you are not living from what you lost. You are living from what you found. Grace. Grace that turns emptiness into fullness. Grace that turns wandering into worship. Grace that turns come home into celebration. Around you, the light grows softer. The laughter fades into a hum of peace. The stars begin to appear outside the window. You lean back in your chair and breathe. You don't need to speak. The air itself is prayer enough. And I, sitting beside you, smile quietly because this is what I dreamed of all along. Not a perfect child, just a present one. Not a house full of rules, but a table full of love. This is a place where grace becomes celebration, where scars become stories, where silence becomes song, where home becomes heaven. You are home, my child. You are safe. You are loved beyond words. Now rest, for this table will never grow empty, and my joy will never end. The house grows quiet again. The laughter has settled into memory, and the night air hums softly through the open window. Candles flicker low. Their small flames sway like breathing hearts. The scent of bread and wine still lingers, warm, sweet, familiar, and you, my child, you are no longer standing at the edge. You are here, curled beneath the light of my peace. Your eyes grow heavy. The joy that once felt too bright has gentled into calm. You lean against me, your head finding its place beneath my hand. Do you feel it now? The weight of my arm around your shoulders, the rhythm of my heart beside your own. It beats not with demand, but with delight. You have wandered far, but tonight you rest closer than ever. You whisper, almost asleep, will you keep me here even if I forget again? And I answer quietly, yes, always, because my keeping does not depend on your remembering. It depends on my love. You do not have to grip this peace. Peace is what holds you. You do not have to fight to stay. Love has already decided that you will. The night deepens. Outside, the wind folds through the trees, carrying the sound of the river beyond the hills. It was the same river that once echoed your cries, and now it sings of home. Above you, stars awaken, small lanterns of eternity, each one spelling out the story of grace. If you listen closely, you can almost hear them say your name. Sleep now, my beloved. Let the world turn without your worry. Let the past fade like footsteps in sand. Let tomorrow wait for the morning light. You are safe here, in arms that never grow weary. Even when you dream, I keep watch. Even when you forget, I remember. The night will not harm you. The silence will not swallow you, because I am here and I do not sleep. Do you remember the road that once felt endless? It is gone now, folded into the horizon of my mercy. You don't need to trace it back. You don't need to fear where it led. Everything that mattered has already arrived. You and love and home. My hand moves once through your hair, and the last of the world's noise disappears. The sound that remains is the heartbeat of heaven, steady, faithful, near. If tomorrow brings tears again, remember this. You are not leaving this place. You are carrying it within you. Home is not behind you anymore. It is the quiet within your chest where I dwell. Sleep now, my child. The feast is over, but the joy remains. The lights dim, but the warmth endures. You have come home. You have stayed, and you will wake again in the morning of eternal peace. Rest now in the arms of your Father. You are loved. You are safe. You are mine.